two words. Keith Thurman.
Yeah.
Can Tim beat Keith Thurman?
Listen, when that fight was announced back in the day, I said, oh, he's got him. Nope, because I knew. And then, you know, we know what they both have been through. I really do think that this fight is right on time for both these guys. Tim had a momentum on his side that Keith didn't have. That momentum is sparked now, but it's not where it used to be. They're gonna have to go to the drawing board. They're going to have to create a game plan. Based on what I saw today, I'm confident that they can do that. Keith Thurman is the hardest person to game plan against. So good luck, guys. I'm coming back.
We need you.
I'm coming back, and I know who I'm here for, all right? I know who I'm getting paid to be here for. I know who I'm going to be here for.
Here he is, the man at the moment. Hey, what about these tunes? How good is that? How good was that lap of honour, just taking it all in and walking around, celebrating with the crowd?
It's a hell of a vibe here in Newcastle. I'm like, after Orlando, it was a bit dead, but coming back here, it's just makes you feel special.
What are the emotions that are racing through you right now?
It's just a lot off the chest, you know. I try to play strategic rather than go in like a hothead, and it works out better.
Tim, the first few rounds, we all thought you might be watchful. How did you assess how you played out the fight?
You know what? I think it was round 4, yeah?
Yeah,
round 4, that feeling when I could feel the intensity, I could feel myself feeling it in round 1, as if I wanted to do it. But in my head, I was like, nah, it's a storyline. Just play the storyline. Jab him, let him get tired, let him get a bit more sweatier, and then we can put it on. And I was expecting him to come at me. So I had a game plan of moving on my back foot, using my jab. But once he stood still, that's when I felt like I was in control.
Late in the third round, you start to get your confidence up there that you're starting to hit the range. That's when you press the button in the 4th round.
Yeah. Sorry, say again?
Late in the third round, it looked to us like you were getting your confidence up. You're starting to hit your target.
Yeah.
And obviously you decide to press the button in the 4th round.
Yeah, I started feeling him. I had this laser jab from mid-distance that started working, and when you have that jab that's sort of just going through the middle, you're able to control with upstairs, downstairs, uppercuts, hooks, and mix it all up.
Are you surprised at all that he didn't go down?
Yeah. Yeah. I could see him tiring down, and then I remember hearing the referee saying, "You got to punch back." So I was expecting the shots come at me, and luckily I didn't get clipped.
Were you surprised, Tim, that he didn't want to trade blows early and try and back you up, considering what you come off for the last 2 losses?
Oh, look, it's easier said than done. But when you back someone who's a pressure fighter and who's got a good jab, then it doesn't go your way, you know.
Yeah. Tim, one of your underrated punches, I think, is your uppercut. I mean, it's lethal. I mean, you did it against Mendoza today. You really shook him up with your uppercut. You found the opening, the precision with the execution was amazing.
Yeah.
Talk about that, the uppercut and what that does
I think
to
it was
fighters.
the mid-distance that I felt with him, where instead of trying to jump into a punch, it was just easier to get off for me. So that's why I was sort of trying to set it up for something else where I could pick him to the body and use the jab as well.
Tim, you said this fight was about proving something to yourself, but what about those people who did doubt you, the questions whether you could come back from what happened in Orlando? What do you say to those people?
It's always a good feeling being able to prove a lot of people wrong. When people think you're on your back foot, but you rise from that, and hopefully it's an example to a lot of people watching.
Got no doubt Keith Thurman's watching right now. Anything you want to say down the barrel
man,
to him?
I'm open for that. That'll be one hell of a fight. I know that fight and Keith Thurman is 2 completely different styles. So it's a whole different approach I have to take. And what I did tonight, I can't do the same with Keith. And it changes up, and I got to prepare for something different.
Any advice you've got for him, Sean?
I want to know, is this how the fight you envisioned this fight? Is this what you saw coming and how you saw it coming?
The first 2 rounds when I was on the jab, not much punches. That's why I envisioned for 3 rounds. And then I was going to try pick up the pace leading into round 4, 5, 6. So I was going to put it up. But I also had a feeling that he was going to come forward. And I think I kept my balance on my back foot just for that particular reason. I didn't want to just go forward, but he was sort of taking a step back, which made me had to go forward. But when you go forward, you have to expect that he can come forward as well, and you got to be able to expect the distance back.
Any thoughts when you had him on the ropes? Any thoughts of, I'm doing too much, this, maybe I should, take a step back? Or you just let it rip? And obviously you got the stoppage, but, at any point, did you feel like this is too much?
Not too serious.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was punching hard. I was just letting the punches go. And I wasn't putting too much body weight. I was just sort of letting them swing, which didn't allow me to lose too much
I had a moment
energy.
like that in one of my fights, and the guy, he got out of the round. And I went back to the corner. My dad looks over where we were at. We're not over there anymore. He looked over there. He said, "Why'd you go so hard right there?" I said, "I don't know. I thought I had him." So what do you want me to do now? What do you think about how you put that together, man? I just think that was beautiful.
Yeah. Well, when a lion smells blood, it goes straight away for the kill.
Yeah.
What about the motivation during the week? Were you frustrated, or was it just byplay about the judging controversy?
Honestly, I couldn't care less about that stuff. Yeah. It was just to try rattle him, try play a little bit with his head, try get him a little bit emotional. It's the art of war.
You sense that he got rattled? You sense he was
Look, I think when I had that face-off with him, he likes a calm press conference. I could tell that he just doesn't want any conflict, And then when I read into that, I was like, all right, I have to sort of press his button somehow. I'm not a disrespectful guy, but I have to try press his button somehow. And I could see that was a way of trying to push his buttons. And it's not like I said anything disrespectful, but I did push it a little bit.
Sense that it worked.
Tim, you talked before about Thurman and what you would need to do differently. What do you have to change? What do you have to do differently to beat Thurman?
His surprising shots, his movement, his in and out on the legs, his shots from all different angles. So again, that's going to be an interesting one.
How long you been studying Key?
For a bit.
You're coming into camp.
Do you start to branch out, though, and think of any other opponents? I mean, any rematches that you'd like to have?
I would love to get the Fondora rematch.
Yep.
It's one thing would love. But also any of the big names in the 154. Like right now, 154 is red hot. So yeah, I'm open.
I saw you lean over and say something to your grandpa after the fight. I mean, just tell us how important he is to you and the whole team.
Yeah, I need him, man. I need him, honestly. It's a family affair, and I know it's sometimes hard with him, and he calls me at really random times on the FaceTime, but it's good to have him, It's a family business.
Yep. Hey, we're so proud of you. We're so thrilled for you. Well done.
You.
Go
Thanks,
on.
guys.
A hamburger. You need a hamburger.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe some KFC.
Congratulations.
Well done, Tim. We'll let Tim get back to his dressing room.